News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Does the city really need to purchase the Mountain Water Company? Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, March the 19th, 2015. Right now it's clear. It's chilly out there this morning, much chillier than it has been. It's 31 degrees in Missoula right now. Skies mostly clear, and our newscast is sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. For the best of Western Montana living, call 777-5387. Our top story this morning, the city of Missoula's eminent domain lawsuit to acquire mountain water began yesterday. The entire case hinges on the issue of necessity, a point stressed by the city's attorney, Harry Schneider, as he outlined the city's case during opening statements.
If the city prevails in proving by a preponderance of the evidence that municipal ownership is more likely, more beneficial, more convenient, more advantageous to the people of Missoula, Montana, and therefore more necessary under the law, the city will proceed to have the price set according to Montana law by 3 commissioners. The city seeks nothing more and nothing less.
Joe O'Connor, representing Mountain Water, also brought up the issue of necessity, challenging the court to ask a particular question of each witness that takes the stand.
I've tried several right-to-take cases, Your Honor. I've never seen this many witnesses in a right-to-take case. But that's fine. That's the way you get your choice on how you prove it. But with every witness, ask this question. Is it really more necessary for the city to own this system than the water company that's owned it for 130 years?
The issue of necessity is one of 4 criteria that must be met in order to win an eminent domain lawsuit. It also happens to be the criteria the city failed to meet when attempting to acquire the water system back in the 80s. And continuing on, Missoula Mayor John Engen spent several hours on the stand yesterday during that lawsuit. Attorney Joe Connor with the firm of Baker Donaldson pressed the mayor for details of his knowledge, or lack of knowledge, of billing procedures for both sewer and eventually the water system.
So even in the utility that you're the CEO of, you haven't done a cost of service study to determine if your residents are being discriminatorily treated for rates, have you, sir?
I haven't, but my staff may have.
You don't know, though, do you?
I don't.
But you're the CEO, right?
I am.
And you're accountable for that,
I
right?
am.
The bench trial before Judge Karen Townsend continues today in Missoula District Court. Montana House has begun a contentious 2-day debate on the state's biennial budget, making last session's bipartisan House budget deal seem a distant memory. Democrats unsuccessfully brought 24 amendments to the floor yesterday, trying to add back parts of the governor's budget cut by Republican-led committees in the past 6 weeks. Democratic Representative Pat Noonan of Ramsey, he's vice chair of the House Appropriations Committee. He said it was clear compromise was not an option. Committee Chair Nancy Balance of Hamilton called the exercise a waste of time, saying committees dove deeply into the details of state agencies to develop the Republican budget proposal. The Montana Department of Revenue is busy filing tax returns. Spokeswoman Molly Peterson says the average refund this year is a little bit higher than in past years.
Since January 20th, when this tax season opened, we have processed almost 225,000 individual income tax returns, and the number of refunds from those returns total 193,000. And the average refund that taxpayers are getting is $405.
Peterson says the Department of Revenue has ramped up its pursuit of tax fraud this year with surprising results.
So far, we have blocked 529 fraudulent returns, and that has stopped almost $583,000 in fraudulent refunds. We've added steps, and we've actually got it to the point now where there's not a lot of extra time that it's taking, and so we're about on par with last year in terms of how fast it's taking to get refunds out.
So far, the total amount refunded to taxpayers is over $78 million. Montana's senators are considering studying the potential effects of phasing out coal mining in the state. Democratic Senator Mike Phillips of Bozeman proposed Senate Joint Resolution 17 in the Senate Natural Resources Committee yesterday. The measure would establish an interim committee to analyze the economic, health, and environmental effects of discontinuing Montana coal mining and coal-fired generation. It would also look at minimizing repercussions for communities that rely on coal. Coal industry representatives opposed the measure, saying it would conjure arguments for ending one of Montana's most important economic sectors. Phillips said the study could be advantageous for the future of coal in Montana if industry proponents are confident that results would turn out in their favor. He said he would welcome amendments to also study how to expand coal production. Yesterday, the U.S. Public Interest Research Group published its survey of governmental transparency for all 50 states. Montana Department of Administration spokeswoman Cheryl Olson said the 2015 grade given to Montana is a huge improvement over the grade given 5 years ago.
Our grade has now improved to now we have an A minus where we started with an F because we have so much information on that site about economic subsidies that are out there, all kinds of financial reports from local governments, contract information. The site is transparency.mt.gov, and that's where you can go and just find a whole wealth of information.
Olson credits Transparency Initiative by Governor Bullock for the improvements.
So in his first State of the State address in 2013, he announced it, and the next day we opened this website, that Transparency website, because he had made it clear to us as he was taking office that this had to be done. This was going to be a shining star of his new administration.
Overall, Montana was ranked as the 11th most transparent state with a 92% grade. Ohio received a perfect score. California, dead last. The quiet of Big Sandy's block-long commercial district was disrupted one afternoon this week when two vehicles sped into town and their 7 occupants climbed out and began fighting. Choteau County Sheriff Vern Burdick says 3 men in a car pulled up in front of a coffee shop Monday afternoon and a pickup truck stopped right behind them. At one point, a man fired up a chainsaw and began swinging it around. Burdick said no one was injured. Burdick said one of the people in the pickup fled the farming town of 600 in the car, and 3 others got in the pickup, stranding 3 of the men. One had a superficial stab wound. The car was found just north of Big Sandy and impounded. Burdick said all seven have been identified and 4 have been cited for disorderly conduct. And a bill before Congress to grant federal recognition of Montana's Little Shell tribe of Chippewa Indians has advanced past a Senate committee. Democratic Senator John Tester and Republican Senator Steve Daines said their Little Shell recognition bill passed out of the Indian Affairs Committee yesterday. A similar measure is pending in the House. Our News Talk time now is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the low 60s. Tonight, we'll see our overnight lows dropping into the mid-30s. Close to 70 on Friday. We drop back into the 50s with showers on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.